Okay, so jumping right into it, second time doing this. I basically wanted to compare 2020, 2023, and 2024 to see which year had the best like debates for the top TUR. Looking in hindsight, were we idiots? Was one obviously better? Was this year actually like completely dominated by one? What was the funnest like debates to have? I just wanted to try to look at that for 2020, 2023, and 2024 because I think those are the best years off the top of my head that I can think of in terms of like the fun talks about the top TURs. So starting off with 2020, I have Tech Ultimate Gohan, STR Cooler, and Int Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Okay, compare off the top of my head, I'll do every ranking like just right away. I would have Tech Ultimate Gohan, then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, then STR Cooler. Something to note: STR Cooler should be last because he's actually a 2019 release. He released in October of 2019. This is his global release date on here. I don't know why we go by global release dates ever. Like it's just global release dates literally mean nothing. Look at LR Jiren and LR like Tech UI Goku. Like I guess we're gonna call that sync shenanigans, but there have been many units in like in the history of Dokkan that were just like went into limbo on Dokkan. Like that just happened. And unfortunately, that's just the way the game was for a long time. But this is a 2019 TUR. This is a late 2020 TUR. This is a mid 2020 TUR. So, but I think they were all part of the debate because, I mean, clearly, if anybody knows, we were having those debates like very very often around STR Cooler and Tech Ultimate Gohan, and like it's impressive that Cooler was such a good TUR release that even though he was a 2019 TUR, he was competing with this mid 2020 TUR. But the honest to god truth is that he wasn't even close. Like he wasn't actually competing. Like Cooler was crazy. Cooler was insane. Cooler was the best TUR on release. But he really like he did not hold a candle to Tech Ultimate Gohan, and like I don't know what people saw in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but to me he always was like super like he was really good, no doubt about it. Just really for a TUR, he was insanely good. But I wouldn't call him anything more than like just like a top three TUR because I just think about that physical Vegeta Blue in reality in 2020 was probably the best TUR, but Tech Ultimate Gohan, I mean, comparing him to STR, not STR, to STR, yeah, to STR Cooler and in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I mean, look at the God event. The God event, all these like different typing stages. Gohan is good in every stage. He was good in every God event stage, but like he was good in every single one. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I used him. He definitely had issues. I believe it was in the Moscow phase and Belmont. Moscow and Belmont gave me issues running Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He was not like a very strong, good unit in either of those for me. I definitely had a lot of issues with him in there. But he definitely got a lot more value in 2021. I guess moving into 2021, like just thinking about it, he got a lot more value when the whatchamacallit, the Golden Week TURs were GT and we got GT Easy A's and GT everything. Him just having like a home like that was definitely extremely valuable. But I still would confidently say that there was no singular point in time in which I felt that uh, not cooler. Well, definitely cooler was the best to. Well, there was a tough point in time, but it was before either of these two released. Before these two released, cooler was the best TUR. But there was no time in which I felt that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was the best TUR. He was always overshadowed by someone, and he definitely I don't think was ever better than Tech Ultimate Gohan. And obviously, moving into the 7th anniversary, like he was like not even an option anymore. I don't want to say that he was like by the time Red Zone Broly and Omega fights had dropped, then he wasn't an option. But people were coping a bit and using him and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta in the earlier fights, in the earlier Red Zone fights before the final fights dropped. I guess a little bit. I talked a lot about Tech Ultimate Gohan in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Everybody knows about them. Cooler. I guess this is a 2019 release, so this is the earliest release on this whole video. So I probably should talk about him. There are a lot of Dokkan LARPers that probably this might be their first introduction of Cooler, and so they want to know like, okay, what opinion do I have of Cooler? The opinion you should have of Cooler is that he was the best TUR on release. He was incredibly strong for a long time. It was rare to get support like this on a Dokkan Fest with Dokkan Fest stats. So it's like honestly very, very impressive what he was doing on release. His transform state being an offensive like oriented type of thing definitely definitely hurt him. If this like transform state was instead like a defensive wall, like he like, okay, imagine this was instead of perform a critical hit, this was like 30% damage reduction. Like back then, this would have helped him like massively. This would have been huge for him. But on release, like this made him insane. Like this was guaranteed crit stars pure and hybrid sand. Like he was doing crazy damage with the attack stacking. But I think I can confidently say that Cooler was the third best, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was the second best, and then Tekko's Magoha was one. Moving on to 2023, if it would close those. On to 2023, we have God Goku, Ma Junior, 23rd Tournament Goku. You had to ask me, gun to your head, who are you taking? This is the order. This is how I'm doing it. God Goku, then 23rd Tournament Goku, then Ma Junior. On release, Ma Junior was the best of these by like a lot. Obviously, God Goku released for Sunday, and then these two for Golden Week. So they were Ma Junior was just back then. Omega was the hardest fight. Oh no! Omega wasn't the hardest fight just yet. The hardest fight was Sin, and then the hardest fight ended up being Omega during Tanabata when Super Saiyan 4 Goku released and the Omega fight released with him. So in Sin and in whatchamacallit, in Sin and in oh my god, I'm stuttering so bad. In Sin and in Omega, freaking Ma Junior was the best TUR. He was one easily. But then the fight that everybody remembers and the fight that everybody cared about dropped. Red Zone Fusion Zamasu, and these two were just head and shoulders. But I don't want to say head and shoulders better. They were just head and shoulders more consistent, and which is a lot more valuable than a lot of things. Like there's consistency and there's carrying, and like this character like these two have way more carry potential. I would definitely say that. But I thought on release, I was of the opinion that this is like that God Goku is like a poor man's TUR. Like if you guys don't know, like I was thinking like, okay, if you have like a shit team, the reason God Goku is so good is because on those shit teams are like if you have a shit account, you just run like God Goku and you just like hope you dodge everything. And then if you dodge everything, then you just win. And like that's how you cheese your way into wins with dodge. And I think that definitely is that's why I felt that he was so good as a free to play player, and I felt like he was the best TUR. He was better than 23rd Tournament Goku, than Ma Junior, because he didn't need the dupes. You dodge or you don't. Like the tanking, like his damage, like it didn't matter because like he was just dodging, and that was his main defensive mechanic. But 23rd Tournament Goku and Ma Junior, they definitely needed it, and so I was thinking that. And so obviously I think like, oh, you go to the truth, and he's thinking like it's a similar. It might be a similar thing with Tech Ultimate Gohan, where in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta needs dupes, so I'm much lower on him. I don't see the appeal compared to Tech Ultimate Gohan, who doesn't need the dupes as much. I guess he is like a stats, but like he builds defense so quickly from stacking, and he's a guard character. Like he just doesn't need it as much as Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who is just like a raw stats demon. So that's what I thought, right? So when these characters, like when I was like settling in and I saw like, oh, Truth was like, oh, I'm not really sure who's better. Like it really I thought he would end up thinking that the 23rd World Tournament Goku was the best TUR. But he ended up actually thinking that he wasn't, and that he was worse than God Goku, which I kind of thought that was like I agreed, but I just have to take his word for it, because I agreed at like the 55% to 1 dupe level when I had them all that God Goku had the best performance and he was doing the most. Like that's what I thought. But I guess I mean there were a lot of private servers people who definitely disagreed, but I'm not sure if the private servers users' opinions on Dokkan are like irrelevant when it comes to stages with attempt limits, because they're literally just playing a different game. Like they're literally not playing the same game as you at that point. So it's not fair to pretend like their opinions matter. But like the I mean the I'm a free play player. I thought God Goku was better. Truth. I saw like a lot of people just agree like God Goku's like best TUR. Another TUR in this year that could have been in this level if she had just gotten the buffs was Kale, but unfortunately she didn't, and these guys just had such low restrictions that it just like these three ended up being the big three, and we're slated to get all three of these easy A's. I mean, dude, if all I want all three of these characters to easy A in the same meta, and we can have the same conversations again. Like it's gonna be fun. I really hope that they keep the. I really hope they keep the spirit of all three unit kits. Like they don't make one absurdly busted or one really trash or like two really good, and you know what I mean. Like I really hope they keep the true spirit of the unit kits, and like that just leads to like we just get to have the same arguments over and over. That would be that sounds like a bit annoying, but it honestly sounds fun to rehash this, because this might be my pick for the most fun year to debate like the best TUR, because I just have me like these other years I did not have both. I did not have all three characters. What do you call it? I did not have all three characters. I had I did not have all three characters equal for 2020. I had Tech Ultimate Gohan. I did not have Tech Ultimate Gohan with dupes, but I did have STR Cooler with dupes. Like I got STR Cooler with dupes when he returned on Physical Beerus's banner. So I definitely did have him with dupes, but I did not have any of the units with dupes. And so it's like I had all these units at the same level, I'm pretty sure. And so like I just ended up like it ended up being really fun to like compare them, because they were all so good. They all had like their like really good situations. I think God Goku had way lower peaks, so you'll see the Twitter clip people being like, "Oh my God, show me a clip of God Goku being better than this," and it's just a fucking Twitter clip, and it's like, dude, come on, that's not how you evaluate units. Like people who actually use the units know how good they are. We don't need Twitter clips to prove how good units are. But yeah, these are my three. This is how I'd rate them. I'd probably say this is the most fun year, but I guess we haven't talked about the year to come. This one. Okay, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, or not Gogeta. Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Vegeta transforming into Super Saiyan Big Bang Attack. Super Saiyan 3 Goku Angel, and Majin Buu. This might actually be the best year, because all four were arguable, or at least people wanted to argue all four. But in my opinion, the reason I can't have this over 2023, despite there being four options compared to three, is it's like 2020. Like the winner, obviously, this guy was the best TUR. He was the best TUR. I think Fat Boo was second, and then I think Tech Vegeta was third, and then we had this guy. Just looking at the metas throughout the year, we started with. Oh wait! Oh my God! I mixed up. I'm thinking this. I was like, oh yeah, this guy was not very good. I was thinking about like, oh yeah, this guy in the red zone Zamasu, like he's not as good as like I think fucking he's not as good as 23rd World Tournament Goku and God Goku. But then I'm like, wait. I didn't use like this. I didn't use this guy in Red. I wasn't thinking like what I was thinking in my head. Like, wait, this guy wasn't like the main type of unit I'm using in there. Like, and I was like, wait, they're both Golden Week TURs. How do I have two Golden Week TURs versus? Oh, yeah. This guy was meant to be with the last crew. Like, I forgot. Dummy me. But I guess we'll just bring up Piccolo Jr. again, because I would have I was quick to put Thingy in last. I put the Super Saiyan 4 Vegito in last, and the reason I was quick to put him in last is because he was the last amongst the 2023 TURs. I think he was right behind Ma Junior. He like okay. Let me explain to you the experience for people who do not use him, who do not pull him, who do not summon for heroes, who whatever you're LARPing Dokkan that or like whatever for whatever reason you're in the Dokkan community and you want to know like what was it like using this one? Like you somehow managed to get deep enough into this video and like be like a barely Dokkan player. What was it like to use this unit on release. So first off, he had basically conditions that made it so the whole team needs to be crossover because Giant 8 power was not that strong. And the only Giant 8 power buffs that we got in that celebration were crossover characters, unfortunately. And this guy also had to go slot one. He got a lot of defense when attacking. And there was a bit of an issue with the HP on his team. So basically, you had low HP. This character in the Red Zone's Fusion Zamasu and the Omega fight would still take like hundreds of thousands of damage. After he or before he attacked, he would take hundreds of thousands of damage. You had a team that had really low HP at the time, 500k, whatever, for fucking 500, 400k, whatever it was. And then you would also have just a team full of the most dog shit units you've ever seen in your entire life, just slapped all together. And the combination of all those factors just made this unit suck because it's like, imagine this: you load up the turn, you have all the dog shit units on the team that you need for this guy's restrictions so that he can actually function, and then you use this unit, and basically you need this to activate, you need this great chance to activate, and then this has a 30% crit and this has 40%. So you need a great chance to additional super to activate. Or first off, you do your first super attack. You need a great chance to crit there. If you don't get that, you lose. If you need your great chance to launch an additional super attack, you don't get that, you lose. Then you need that additional super attack to have a great chance to crit. If you don't get that, you lose. And then you need a hidden potential system additional. If you don't get that, you lose. If you don't get the crit on that, you lose. If you don't get the 70, if you don't go on the next turn and you do that all over again, you lose. And guess what? If you take more than 3 turns to do literally fucking anything in this fight or with this team, you lose because this team has 500k HP and this is a slot 1 unit who's still taking like 300,000 damage on every super attack before he attacks. So it's like, I'm exaggerating a tiny bit, but I'm literally telling you that is genuinely what it felt like to use this unit on release. It was so miserable and he was so bad. I really, really dislike this unit. He is one of my least favorite characters that people have rated very highly. But fuck, is this art raw? Like, dude, you're telling me you wouldn't let Vegito dick you down like this? Holy shit, dude. I can't zoom in. Holy, why is he, dude? That's for me. That's for me. I came all over the screen. I literally did. This is literally the most rawest card art in the entire game. This is the toughest looking fucking card art in the entire game. Not even close. Look at this shit. This is actually so fucking cool. Like the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito is actually so cool. Like I really fuck with his design. But unfortunately his unit was dog shit. So moving on to 2024, the actual 2024 TURs. Like I said, this is pretty much the objective list. But looking at it, like if you want to include past, like I included a little bit of the next year's meta because how well they aged directly into the next year is very relevant in my opinion. But I don't think Fat Boo aged really well into the next year. Just looking at 2024's meta, I think Fat Boot is like one of the best aging units of all time, but he was not good in 10th anniversary content. Like he was not very good there, but he ended up being really good once we got short difficult content because Fat Boot will always be relevant in short difficult content. Him having the revive plus the Ghost Hush return just makes him a demon in short difficult content, but he wasn't very relevant in 10th anniversary content compared to this Goku, who definitely was. But then also, just looking at the actual 2024 content, 2024 was the year of the 9th anniversary. There really wasn't a lot of actual 9th anniversary content that was super difficult, in my opinion. I think you kind of steamrolled a lot of it. And so the major difficult content was like Red Zone Kid Buu, which really wasn't crazy difficult. And then actual fights, which were Goku and Frieza, Janemba, Gogeta. Those 3 fights, this guy was a demon in Gogeta and Janemba, and he was still really good versus Goku and Frieza, who were pretty much the fight that people based everything off of. But he was still so good because Janemba, and Gogeta, if you remember those fights, they were extremely, extremely difficult. Instantly, right away, they were super, super difficult, and so that made this guy, who just is invincible right away, if you have a Majin Buu Star category ally, which was a bit of an issue, but we'll gloss over it for now. Him just being invincible right away and the build up, it just led to him being like insanely good. Like he was really, really, really good. But that Boo was definitely no slouch, and he was definitely in the I say like this guy's objective best TUR. Fat Boo was definitely up there. He had a little bit of a debate, but I really don't see the debate for him because he needed to build up a bit. I guess this guy was very, very good for the artificial life form mission versus the red zone beast Gohan. I guess I didn't think about that, but that fight that fight was difficult, quote unquote. If but it was only difficult if you weren't running like some of the best teams. Like the there are like Goku and Frieza fight could still slap you up even with like the best team if you got bad RNG because it had locking and sealing into dodge canceling. So like there was definitely a lot of slapping up into there. And like the way it worked with the damage threshold and the low HP damage buff they would get, you could just get like slammed if you played it bad. But I still think that this character was he was really I think he was really good, possibly in the same level versus all I mean, I said Super Saiyan 3 Goku was the best TUR because he was so good right away, but this guy was also really good right away. I guess a bit of the issue is that in like if you run this guy's like team, you sort of run into the issue of when you run two of this guy in really short difficult content, he like tapers off a bit. Like you kind of want to run this guy like on somebody else's team, like this character's team, so that you have one of him because if you run two of him, like you can't like get the value instantly right away from both of them having like the instant revive. Like you can only revive with one. Whereas if you run two of this guy, you get his instant right away value in like the Gogeta Janemba fight with both units. So that definitely is a big positive. Vegeta. This Vegeta was extremely good for long or difficult content, uh, but he was kind of a merchant for the difficult content that was easy, quote unquote. He was actually like he was really good for the Goku and Frieza fight. Like, he was still really good in there. Don't get me wrong, but he was really bad versus Gogeta and Janemba. And then also, not to mention the fact that he kind of pressed the easy fights, like the easy ninth anniversary fights that weren't particularly difficult and the best teams didn't struggle with. He destroyed them. He annihilated them. I guess something else, another unit that I should have brought up um, with these debates is a character that people underrated. I would have had him last, and I probably would have never argued him for the best TUR, and people hated on him a lot. But the issue with this character is that this is okay. People called this character trash, but the reason they called him trash is because they said he runs out like they would be like, oh yeah, look, he runs out of his damage reduction after he transforms so much, like it's so bad. He had after transforming guard 80% damage reduction, right? 100% defense when receiving attack, 300% defense start a turn. That basically makes him invincible, right? In that day and age, he was invincible. But this makes it for every attack received. This is the probably the unit. Like when I think of okay, I don't like dodge because it doesn't synergize with units kits and it just is it's working adjacent to them and because of how strong it works adjacent to units kits and it still is better than like additionals or crits even though additionals and crits should help the unit more. Having more additionals, having more crits should synergize with the unit's kit, but synergy between hidden potential system builds and kits matters less because dodge is just so strong, so you don't need to synergize. You should just dodge. That's not true here because dodge synergizes perfectly with this unit's kit because you literally just you dodge one you get this guy 30 dodge and he dodges one attack and you get an 8% extra damage. Like this is humongous. And I would literally see clips of people on Twitter saying, look, Topo is so bad after transforming. And they have like their full fucking additional build on Topo. And he receives every attack and then he gets hit by a super and dies. And it's like, dude, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like you don't build this unit. Look at this unit. Look at this unit. You don't build him with anything other than dodge. You literally just don't. Like it's just, it makes no sense. And I guess he has the active skill, which all attacks become crits in battle, and he can activate at 6 turns from start of battle. That's his. What's his transformation condition? I believe it's yeah, 4 turns from start of battle if you have the special pose and stuff, and then or 6 turns from start of battle. It like you basically when you needed it, you had the guarantee crits up anyway. So I felt like there was no point in building this unit for crit. People tried to build him for additional and crit too, and then they get slammed, and then they say, "Oh my god, like this unit's so bad." But I really felt like he competed with these characters in the Goku and Frieza fight, and in the Ninth Anniversary content. But he was objectively worse than this guy, and he was objectively worse than all of them. But he was still up there. And then I think Worldwide Now Celebration content, Gogeta and Janemba, like this guy, you need just like really, really good luck. But this guy, he's sort of pre transformation. He wants to be ran on his own team because of his intro. And so it's like, you have to run this team, and this team does not work. Like he was dead. He was dead once Worldwide Down Celebration content dropped, and even like before that, the final this team did not have the oomph to really sit down Goku and Frieza like it should have. But that's just like an unfortunate side effect of the special pose slash Defenders of Justice team. They needed the LR Ginyu Force to be like insanely ridiculous for it to work, but unfortunately they weren't. But yeah, I think these three TURs right here are this is how I would rate them. I think the years I would rate them as 2023 best years of ranked TURs, best debates that year. I think the Fusions and Monster fight was so fun. This year is second, and then 2020 is third. I just think the difficult content with Goku and Frieza and GDC was so much more fun than the 2020 the difficult content of Legendary Goku event plus Extreme Super Battle Road. Let me know what you guys think. Who you think is like the best TUR of this year in particular? I think it's pretty this guy pretty obviously. I really felt that he was number one by a pretty not a decent margin. I think there's a slight bit of an argument, and I could see why you argue it, but like this guy is just too consistent for me.